BT23 Hackers Slumber. Wow. Okay, just before that, I got a bunch of pre-release packs to open up as well. So let's check it out. Ooh, Bancho Leomon and Huckmon. So these are just like foil upgrades and release event versions of every card that's kind of in the set as well. Normally it's for like commons, uncommons, and rares, I believe. Maybe not commons, just rares and just uncommons, I think. But yeah, anyways, Gankumon and Greymon. Quickly go through a bunch of them. Ooh, Lady Devimon. Know for sure people are looking for that one. Sister Montiel as well. I'm just gonna put the right here. What else we got here? Cordamon, Eater Eden. Generally, I like these cards when they are like not foiled normally, and then with this, it gives them like a bit of a foil upgrade, which is kind of nice. Beautymon. Okay. But yeah, I got quite a bunch this time around. Gatsumon. So yeah, this is like an uncommon, so it's not foiled regularly, but now with it, you know, looks kind of shiny. Violet Imboots, which you definitely need for Dogahamon. Ooh, Sister's Training Gym. And Craniamon too. Wonder when we can finally get like Craniamon X. We need that for sure. Goro, Dokamon. And for the last one, we got K with Sister Mont Blanc. Not too bad, not too bad. But let's just go straight into the booster box right now. And let's hopefully post something awesome here. I wonder if there's any box toppers. Okay, so there is a pack of box topper, a box promotion pack, just 4 cards per pack. Digimon Story Time Stranger, which that's gonna be what the next set is all about. So I believe these are like kind of like alt arts for some of the cards in the set. I think you get some promos as well that are exclusive. So we got Wormmon right here. Ooh, we got this Betamon. Love the background and everything. Looks really nice. We got Monica, which this is specifically a promo card, and as well as Hiroko, which is another promo card. Okay. So let's start with our first pack. Antilomon, which can be support for CS trait, Deva, as well as like the Cherubimon deck itself, because it has Alliance, Bakemon, Bakemon, Cannon Beamon, Crescent Leaf, Musclemon, Waspmon, Worm, Phoenix. Kind of odd to see an artwork like this, like non-foil, Garuru, Rose, Crania, and a Ojamon. So no hits just yet. You know, I mean, it is just the first pack after all. But yeah, I hope you guys who played at your pre-releases and are opening up like sets, because this is like actual release date now. You know, good luck to your pulls as well. Tentomon, Phoenixmon once again, and 7th Penetration, which is the signature option card for Belphemon X. And we got Huckmon right here, which is really good. A new searcher for the deck to search top 3, grab potentially like 2 pieces, which is great. And then gaining memory with its inherit effect is also fantastic. So I can see for sure that's a must-have as a 4 of if you're building Jesmon for sure. Demimera, Ghost, Hoodia, Net Cafe, Comet Hammer, Big Bang Punch, Soul Banquet, Woken Palm, Seadra, Golem, Sakuya, and Eater Eden, and as well as a new Sister Mont Blanc, which is really good for the Jesmon deck, just to help you add the top card security, and you get to recover afterwards. So it's almost like a draw 1, which is really, really nice. Big Bang Punch, Angemon, Ice Archery, Birdra, Sangloopmon, been trying to figure out ways to play with Grand Dracmon for sure. Beta, Eater Legion, Ganku, and Erikaron. Okay, Modimon, Ice Archery, Consumon, Elizamon, Lila, Wergar, Flick, Yugo, Goro, Cordamon, Shakomon, which you definitely need if you're going to be playing Hoodia, because this is how you can DNA, use the inherit effect of your CS trait Digimon to regress and reset back to your Hoodia level 4. Really, really powerful combos for sure. And another Sister Montiel, which we didn't get a chance to talk about earlier because I pulled the pre-release version itself with a blocker. And all turns, when this Digimon suspends, you get to D-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Really, really good. Having D-Digivolve in Jesmon now as well, other than just utilizing Gankumon, definitely really good. Drakmon, starter main to trash 1 to gain a memory. Vossmon, which we did roughly see. It's nice to see Royal Base for sure, because now you can play out Tamers for free off of this one, and it has like Royal Base in text, so you can play Winter, you can play the new Fae Tamer as well, which works well. We got a new Elizamon, that's all we have, or Elizamon, which is, you know, probably upcoming additional support in BT24, so stay tuned for that. A new Strike Dramon, a new Funbeamon that searches, Garudamon, Yugo, Garuru, Craniamon, and for our first SR, we got Takumi Aiba, which is a new tamer for CS trait, which gives us like protection. Not too bad. You know, that's kind of what the deck needed from before when it came to BT22. You know, it has a pretty efficient line of combo to go all the way up into level 6, but it was lacking a little bit of protection. Now that Takumi Aiba kind of gives it to that. Lady Devimon, this new one is definitely must have in Mastermon deck, which is really good. A new Magnamon, which is really cool too. Violet Inboots, which we saw earlier in the pre-release pack. And yeah, you definitely need to play that in Dual Hub because you want to give your guys rush as you evo so they can attack and do all your execute combos at the same time in the same turn. A new Phantomon as well, speaking of which, this one's the, you know, follows the standard line of being able to warp on top of a Ghostmon just by placing the level 4 underneath. We got Oja, and already right off the bat we have the secret rare Mastemon, which is the main secret rare that most people want in this set for sure. Magnificent art right here, which is really, really cool. So yeah, definitely gotta give shout outs to the Twilight Angels playmat. If you guys can see right here, be sure to grab your collection as well. Part of it got the dices, comes with 2, and then we also got the memory marker and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you guys haven't done so yet, check out the AVAULT store for that. But yeah, this new Mastemon has barrier, partition. When you evo, you get to play a level 5 or lower. You get to trash security as well, and you get to put stuff back in security when security is removed. So really, really, really good. Really important for the deck that you definitely want to be playing for sure as well. Not sure if you play it as like a 1 or 2 of, maybe a 3, but I feel like the promo one might be the main one to go still. Anyways, let's keep going. New Angelwomon, which you need as well for the deck. Sakuya, we got a new Fae Tamer, which is just a regular rare. Really good for Royal Base, being able to help you gain memory, draw cards, as well as Ryuji here. I'm kind of a little disappointed on this one because it doesn't let you play a device option. Now, I know it's not like specifically to the lore, but I feel like I'm not entirely sure how this card is supposed to work together alongside with Justimon, because this is like one of the tamers for it. I feel like there's a bit of a missed opportunity, but maybe I'm not really building the deck correctly, or maybe there's like some kind of like spicy way to go around to play Justimon instead of like its own pure line, perhaps. But yeah, still gotta figure that one out for now, but otherwise, like, there certainly is Justimon support in this set for sure. Flickmon, Ghostmon, Cannon B, Goro, Machine Dramon, Matadormon, and the new Cyberdramon right here, which we did talk about roughly a little bit in terms of like Justimon, but it's nice to have a little bit of protection with inherit effects and general as well for the deck. So let's keep going. Eater Bit, this is really good for built-in like removal to get rid of Floodgate rookies, such as like Psychmon, anything that prevents you from playing by effects as well. You know, good for that. Justimon Blitz Arm, and we got a new King Drazil 7d6, which is kind of interesting because it kind of supports like CS trait and Royal Knight, which can also be played in the Mother Eater deck, as well as Royal Knight itself. It is kind of hefty play cost, but you want to ideally like tuck it underneath your regular King Drasil with the Digi Egg, and by doing so, you can, you know, give something like Rush, Raid, Reboot, and Blocker, and an extra inheritable for King Drasil is pretty nice as well. And yeah, pretty cool. It's an actual Digimon this time too, not a Digi Egg, which is kind of cool to see. So I know many of you guys are Royal Knights fans, so certainly be like, you know, upgrading your decks with that, you know, with the new support here in the set as well, because there's quite a bit of Royal Knights. We got Dynas and we got Fae. Drakmon, Cannon B, Edemon, Soul Banquet, Phoenixmon once again, Greymon, which we saw earlier, but I wanted to quickly talk about it. Like new support for Omnimon for a bit more consistency is always great. Systemon Shiel, and a Tiger Vespamon Ace. Tiger Vespamon is kind of like one of my not like super top favorite Digimon, but like one of the Digimon I definitely like as well personally and admire, and it just looks really cool. And this new card is just absolutely insane. Being able to unsuspend all turns, and it's not even once per turn, pretty good. So once you're able to set up your royal base like with a bunch of face-up security, you can just pretty much OTK with this card, or constantly just keep attacking, or keep unsuspending even during your opponent's turn, so you can keep on blocking. Really good offensively and defensively both together. Really good card. And for a green and black card, it's when Digivolving effect is pretty much like a recover 1 straight up as you set up a royal base security, and then you get to like bounce something back to hand, which I think is kind of odd. Like I feel like green removal has always like switched between like bouncing or bottom decking, so I think it would be a little bit better if it was bottom decking. That would be nice though, but pretty strong. We might have an alt art right here, and Belphemon X Antibody alt art. This one looks absolutely stunning and sick. Like, drawn by Light Nausicaa. Look at the symbol, like, in its stomach right there, too. Like, Belphemon X is definitely gonna be pretty, like, strong as a deck, especially with the EX10 support from Belphemon from the last set as well. So I've been waiting for this specific card just to upgrade it even further. So you guys definitely stay tuned for those gameplay guides and the deck profiles coming soon as well, because I'm definitely going to be covering this one. And yeah, I think I've been having fun with the deck for sure. So this card is really, really cool. That's kind of how it enables the OTKs. You know, being able to attack without suspending. It's just crazy. And then you just finish the rest of your opponent's security, and you just find a way to like finish them off with a rookie on the side, or you evo on top of it again in the line. You can actually kind of like attack again, which is insane. But anyways, let's keep going. Magnamon, and then we have Poseidomon, which is the new app god right here. Not a secret rare, different to Deusmon and Gaiamon, but this one's pretty good in terms of being able to unsuspend. Pretty unique effect on like stunning your opponent's like board, where only one of their Digimon with the highest play cost is allowed to suspend, but everything else can suspend. It has evade, link +1. I feel like the new Appmon support for Poseidomon line has a bit more promising like kind of effects, being able to like go for aggression with secret attack +1. You can unsuspend, so pretty neat stuff. Huckmon and Beautymon, which you need for the Poseidomon deck as well. What else do we have here? Machinedramon, Necromon, and Dokamon. I feel like this new Necromon is pretty good, being able to like evo for 3. It has almost exact same effects as the older Necromon, just not security attack +1 and just less DP. But this one's a little bit more defensive, which is kind of interesting. So, you know, being able to delete itself, you can kind of like stop the attack, and otherwise you get to delete your opponent's level 6 or lower as well, you know, kind of interesting. But I think the older one is still a little bit better, just because you need that aggression, you need that power to sort of like swing into the security and try to win as quickly as possible as you're doing those execution combos either way. Oh, and speaking of which, we have Dulohamon right here. Kind of odd, like when I first saw this card for the first time, it was like, oh, it's that knight with no head or helmet, but then like the head is actually attached to his like left arm right here, which you can kind of see the head. Anyways, this has a lot of effects when it comes to piercing, sec attack +1, and execute. You can evo on top of Necromon or a level 6 purple for 4 cost. Otherwise, it has the same condition of being able to evo on top of a Phantomon. As long as you have Violet Inboots like set up on the board already for 6 cost, which you normally would in the deck anyways. You get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level when you evo. If you didn't delete, you gain extra 5k. So you can buff it up all the way to 19 to pretty much get rid of that Digimon either way, just because execute allows you to attack unsuspended Digimon too. And with its on deletion effect, you can play out a level 6 lower ghost trait from your trash for free, which ideally you want to play out the older Necromon, because the older Necromon also has a on-play effect to let you play something back from the trash, and you can go really wide and gain a lot of value just from that one combo play, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, again, definitely going to be making an updated gameplay guide and deck profile for that as well. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe, and I appreciate the support. Next, we got a Keisuke, which is another super rare tamer, which is specifically for Hudia trait, just to, you know, set your memory at 3 as a memory setter, and also really just to give you an extra 1000 DB buff. That's the main usage of it, really, I think. It has a secondary effect, but I haven't really looked into that one too much just yet. Let's keep going though. Shakomon, Ojamon. We're almost done with the first box. Yes, and like I said, first box, because we are opening multiple boxes usually when a new set comes out. What do we have right here? Eater Eden and a Chitose. which you certainly need in the Hoodiamon deck for sure. It is 4 cost, but you know, you have effects that let you play it for free. So by being able to play them for free, you're able to play out a 5 cost or lower Hoodia trait from your hand for free as well. And that's how you start, like, you know, floating more bodies to potentially DNA or to go for alliance combos. And as you attack, you also DP reduce your opponents. This is the tamer that you're always going to be trying to bounce back off with Hoodiamon so that you can play it out again for free and repeat the combo over and over. At least that's what I'm understanding. New Gallantmon, just as a rare, really strong, really good for Gallantmon itself, really good for Royal Knights, being able just to evo for 3. But yeah, mainly, you stop your opponents from playing anything back from the trash for an entire turn, which is really interesting and unique first time. You know, Gallantmon's always known to, like, you know, thrive based on how many cards are in the opponent's trash. Mainly just to trash the opponent's security. But nowadays with this one, a definite counter to purple decks, which is really cool. And pretty strong. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, right? Like, this new Gallantmon, you definitely play it in Royal Knights for sure. So let's just keep going. Jessimon Blitzarm, and we're finishing off with Craniamon with our first box with the last pack. So, like I said, based on tradition, we got more boxes to open as always. And let's see if we can pull other stuff that we haven't been able to check out just yet. There are still a couple other cards that I wanted to talk about and see, but let's just quickly go through them. Just because most of the commons and uncommons and the rares are pretty much like covered already. Tentomon, Betamon, Hiroko, and Titamon right here for the box topper. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what your favorite deck is that you're going to be looking forward to building in this set. And already we got a Altart in the very first pack of the second box, which we got Case Gate, which we saw earlier. Love the artwork in terms of like the background. Looks really, really cool. Okay, so this is a main set after all. That means we're either going to be getting 1 secret or 2 Altarts per box. That's kind of how it goes. We got a new Gankumon, which I think we saw from the pre-release, the release event pack earlier as well. Not sure if you play that in Royal Knights or not. So you guys let me know. But I was going to say, like, let me know in the comments on what deck you guys are most looking forward to build for this set and I'm going to be playing. And yeah, definitely stay tuned. Subscribe, turn on that notification bell for the deck profiles and the gameplay video, guys, which are going to be coming out real soon. We're working on those at the moment, so trying to get those out for you guys as soon as possible. And as always, if you guys are AVAULT Club members, you can see my first drafts of my deck list already before everyone else. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to join, and I appreciate the support too. Wormmon, Bakemon, Hoodia, Tento, Phoenix, Greymon, Sister Bomb, and here we are with the secret rare card, Hoodiamon, which we got lots to talk about. Definitely need it in the Hoodia deck, which is kind of like a loop deck, but more aggressive, attacks non-stop. You utilize its alliance to go for 2 checks at a time. You can Digivolve on top of level 3 for 4 costs with CS trait, otherwise it's 5 costs, which is kind of expensive for a level 4, but you get a lot of effects along together with it, because whether you play or Digivolve, you get to play a 5 cost or lower CS trait tamer, a card specifically, from your hand for free. And that's, like I mentioned earlier, you want to play out your Chitose, and then you get to give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 3k for each of your Hoodia trait Digimon on the board as well. So you keep DP reducing, you have removal, you have aggression as you keep on attacking, and you can float bodies constantly for a lot of offensive strategies. And when you attack once per turn, you return one of your CS trait tamers to your hand to activate this Digimon's on play effect, which is the same as its when Digivolving effect, to play out that same tamer, which is likely going to be Chitose again, and then you get to play another body, and that's how it can continuously cycle. There are lots of draw cards in this inherent effect as well as you go for it, and alongside with like playing out the Seisuremon, which I don't think we have seen just yet maybe, or haven't really covered, but that's really the whole idea of it. Generally, the other Digivolve condition is while you have 4 or more Hoodia trait tamers, you get to Digivolve on top of Erica specifically for 3 cost. The thing is, like, you're not really going to have a lot of like Hoodia trait tamers set up in that early game if you're going to go for the aggressive playstyle, but maybe for the control variant, you might be able to achieve that. Generally, you would just kind of like Evo, like as a level 4, you want to set up enough memory at the start of your turn or the start of your main. You just go up, push out your rookie and Evo for 4 cost and keep turn, and that's when you begin to start attacking again and again. But yeah, definitely check out the gameplay guide when it comes out. And for those who are AVAULT Club Plus members, can watch that early already as well. So again, consider joining that, and you can see that crazy combo loop in action, which is absolutely insane. Anyways, yeah, I feel like I talked quite a lot about just that one single card right here, Neo Magnamon, which we saw earlier, but I was going to say, like, this is pretty decent to be added into regular Magnamon deck as well, just because it gives it a lot more utility. Effectively better than the BT13 one now, which you don't really play anymore, I think. Necromon and Dokemon. That pretty much finishes up the second box, because we got 2 hits, we got 1 alt art, we got 1 secret. So right now what's left is really just going to go through the rest of the commons and uncommons, and as well as the super rare cards that, again, there are still several that we haven't really seen yet. Oh yeah, we also got Garurumon as well, which is also like similar support for the Omnimon deck, which you play alongside with that Greymon, and like I mentioned earlier, that's the Seadramon that you get to alliance together, and when you suspend itself, as you attack with Hoodiemon, you get to draw additional cards. That's the whole idea of it. Gallantmon and Dulohamon. Fantastic. Matadormon and Gallantmon. Wonder what other SRs we haven't seen yet. I know one of them in my head, but I'm not going to say just yet because I want to leave it as a surprise. Hopefully we do pull one. It'll be crazy if we don't. We got new Geogray that can play from security. This is like specifically like Yuko's Geogray. That Geogray can digivolve into Rise Gray just for lore wise. Not too sure how much I'm going to utilize this card. It does have Raid and Blocker, which is kind of neat. Just for as a level 4, it can do quite a bit. But we'll see, we'll see. Poseidomon. Yeah, I don't think you really... Maybe I'll see if it's worth adding into like the Gaiomon or like the Black War Greymon decks. But just from gut feeling at first, I don't really think so. But it gives us like an extra Greymon card to work with, which is nice. We got Bergermon as well as Garudamon and Goro, which we saw earlier. And then we have Keisuke. But I haven't really looked into the Phoenix stuff either, specifically. But I feel like right now, everyone is still playing like the Growl Rush with the Gil Rush engine overall. 7 penetration, and here is one of those SR cards I definitely wanted to talk about, because this one probably would be the one card, or the one archetype that I most look forward to in this set. That's Jesmon right here. A new Jesmon. It's kind of like the old one, but even better, like the old one as in like the BT6 or even the Star Deck one. Itself has Russian Alliance, so when you play it alongside with Royal Knights, it's great. When you Digivolve or when you attack with it, which is not once per turn, by the way, you can either play the FO Rene Poor token from your hand or trash, or you get to play one Digimon card with system on its name without paying the cost. You can't play the same name cards as any of your Digimon, so you got to be careful a little bit about it with that kind of stipulation. With the same Ethel Rene Poor as from BT 2.5 as that Jesmon, you play that exact same token that has Reboot, Blocker, Decoy, Red, and Black. It has a your turn once per turn when any of your other Digimon are played. This Digimon may attack, which is pretty much like its Blitz. And by being able to do that, you can kind of like swing and do a lot of things. Play our Systemon, flood the boards, and start alliancing together with its own effect, as well as the Savior Huck from the previous like 2.5 set together to do a lot of damage. And the whole idea as well is, aside from just Digivolving on top of Savior Huck, you can also Digivolve on top of a Huckmon for 5 cost by warping on top of it, straight up, as long as your opponent has a 10k DP or higher Digimon on their side of the board. So, Jesmon is definitely something I'm going to be covering as well for this set. So, stay tuned, working on those videos for you guys. Or if they're out already, make sure to check them out as well on the channel. But yeah, that makes me wonder, have I covered every single SR card already in this set? I know there is Belphamon X, which we saw as an alt art, but not as a regular art. But yeah, I guess we'll open all the packs and see. We got Ryuji once again. There are quite a handful of Tamers that are SR as well. But I feel like that could be mostly it. We're almost done with the second box anyways. So, yep, Tiger Vespamon. Great card. Flick. Magnet and Violet. I mean, they're still kind of like chase cards or low rarity cards that you can pull, so maybe perhaps maybe perhaps we might pull them, because those are not part of the actual pull rates. Genku and Eri. Okay, well, that's it for the second box, but we have one more to go through, just so we can check things out. Maybe pull some awesome alt arts that we can talk about, or again, other super rares that we haven't seen. So, hope you guys are enjoying the opening so far. Make sure to give this video a like if you haven't done so yet. But, once again, Gatsu, Tento, Asuna, and Minerva right here. I wonder where you get the token for the Ethel Renee Pour. I thought it would be in the box topper. Maybe we just didn't, we weren't lucky enough to pull one, but that's okay. But let's just quickly go through the rest of this final box, because we've seen most of the cards already. We've seen all the commons. We've seen all the rares. I'll just stop by on anything that we haven't really specifically talked about just yet. But, oh, there is something that we haven't pulled just yet. Here we have a new Examon. Finally has partition. But it's interesting. It's partition for level 5, so you can play out your Wingdra and your Groundra. Itself is piercing, security attack +1. The only downside with this one is that it doesn't have unsuspending ability like the other older Examons do. So being able to unsuspend with the older Examons, I feel like has better versatility, but it kind of uses the security attack +1 to make up for that damage per se, because, swing twice versus swing 2 checks at one go. And this one has a pretty cool Fligate effect where you suspend all your opponents, like 5 of your opponent's Digimons or Tamers, but none of their Digimon can't unsuspend during the next unsuspend phase. And then this Digimon may attack. So, usually when you, play out your big bodies, you would just use the end of turn of Draco X to DNA, and then at least you can still, pull off an attack. I'm kind of interested how this one doesn't, it would be cool if it doesn't let your opponent's Tamers unsuspend as well at the same time, but it might be a little bit too powerful. Artwork's amazing though. And it has that last effect of, when your opponent's security stack is removed, you get to trash one option card in the battle area and delete one of their suspended Digimon and Tamers, which is actually really, really good control, really good removal tool for sure on this one. So, you guys who are Examon fans, let me know in the comments on what you guys think, on this particular card, and how good it is. Is it better than the one from EX3? Because that one has a lot of versatility. Is it better than the Ace one specifically as well? Just because I feel like the Ace one can do quite a lot of things too, which is keyword soup. Or how does it compare to Examon X from BT21 as well? So yeah, either way, it's nice to have Examon support. I was kind of surprised on us getting another Examon that soon, but thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense because it's part of the whole story all together with Cyber Sleuth. So yeah. Anyways, let's keep going. We got Eater, Sister Blanc, Yoko, the Bees, Jessimon Blitz Arm, which I did want to quickly talk about this one a little bit as well. Just being able to evolve on top of Axel or Critical Arm for 1 cost, CS Trade for 3. Otherwise, in your whole line with Black at level 5s is also for 3. Itself is a blocker, and you trash 1 option card in a battle area when you Digivolve or attack with it once per turn. It's nice because you can actually trash your opponents, otherwise you trash your own, which are going to be your device cards to use their effects. And when an option card is trashed in a battle area, you get to unspend, and this Digimon basically don't get affected by your opponent's Digimon effects for the turn, which is nice as well. But yeah, I'm still working with Jessimon a little bit just because I feel like I'm not entirely sure how to really build and utilize it at the moment. The new line, the effects are not that bad, to be honest, but it's just building the deck itself. Do you go with the pure black version? Do you go with the CS version? Or do you specifically play the one that I kind of did before, which was kind of the X antibody version? But yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyways, we got our alt art card right here, which we got Makiko. So yeah, that is going to be one of the Tamers alt arts, so that will be another hit in here. Will we get another secret rare, or will we get a alt art? We're about to find out. Nice. We pulled Mastemon alt art, which is really, really sick. We talked about this card earlier, but yeah, look at this art. Really, really nice. I love the white and the black cats, which are kind of specifically kind of like Gatomons, I guess, for the lore and all that. But yeah, this artwork is absolutely magnificent. Really, really, really nice. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, once again, shout outs to Twilight Angels. Make sure to get your playmat on the AVAULT store right now, for sure. You definitely need it. I think this opening was meant to be. Being able to pull the alt art plus the regular art and like good secrets. Yeah. This is definitely a good one. For sure. But yeah, I'm happy with this opening for sure. Just because like there's so many cool stuff that we've been able to see. I think we saw most of it already, but let's just quickly skim through the last few packs and see if we have any other SRs that we haven't talked about yet, which I did forget about Examon earlier. So yeah, maybe there's something we haven't seen just quite yet. And of course, at the end of the day, there's always that, you know, SPs and chase rarities, which are not part of the actual pull rates. So they can show up at any second and we just never expect it. But I'll go through the last couple ones as quickly as I can. Oh, we actually haven't talked about Erica, you know, like specifically. Because we talked about all the other Hudia tamers. This one just simply gains you a memory at the start of main as long as you have a CS trait Digimon. I feel like you don't really use the end of turn effect as much. I think unless you're playing the control playstyle. This card can be played in both Eaters and the Hudia mainly. And otherwise, like when you go into either Legion or either Eden, you just basically get to get Alliance. And if you ever Evo Hudia on top of her, you also get another instance of Alliance, so you can kind of like Alliance for 3 checks. Just to make your Hudia a little bit more stronger. But again, Evoing Hudia on top of her with the condition is a little bit tough. I feel like you really need like a really good setup to do that, or you got to be really lucky to have all those tamers. But if you are able to, it's not too bad, just because Hudia with alliancing together, you only really go up to 12k alongside with one of the level 4s, which is 5k, 7 plus 5. So with that, like Hudia is kind of susceptible to be deleted in security battle because there's so many like stuff that's 12k and above. There's like 15ks and 16ks these days. Like everyone's playing like Digimon with those kind of like high DP power. You know, if you end up deleting yourself, then it's not really the greatest. But there is barrier in the deck as well, so you can kind of protect yourself from battles like that too, which is not too bad. So yeah, there are ways around it. Okay. And let's keep going. Alright, that is it. And this is the last pack. We'll go through that one by one just to see if we can get the chase rare pull or anything like that. For the surprises, Big Bang Punch, Angemon, Hudia, Ice Archery, Burdra, Beta, Phanto, Rose, 7 penetration, and we finish off with Sister Mont Blanc.
The Twilight Angels playmat and dice is now live on the AVAULT store. Make sure to grab them along together with the collection so you get additional memory markers all together. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, whenever you are. See you in the next video, and this is AVAULT signing